Hey, welcome back to our art channel. It's Michelle.
And Miguel.
And today we're going to do, obviously, another art challenge where we will be drawing two characters mashed up together. And these characters are going to be from two different worlds.
The world of Middle-earth and the world of Miyazaki. And these two characters in today's episode, it's going to be Arwen, the daughter of Elrond, and Princess Mononoke. So I hope you enjoy that.
So, as you can see, this is my mashup of the characters Princess Mononoke and Arwen. I do a little bit of sketch work, and I kind of decided to do her being a little bit getting ready to talk down to whoever she needs to talk to instead of her fighting, because I kind of wanted to touch base more on Arwen's way of posing versus Princess Mononoke's fierce warrior type posing. So, and I tried to sort of stick with the style of Studio Ghibli just because I really like how the lines can be really clean and the colors are just basically flat and easy to color. So one of the characters that we are mashing up, her name is San, and she is from the film Princess Mononoke by Hayao Miyazaki. And San is obviously, she is Princess Mononoke. I'm not quite sure why that name, but she's also known as Wolf Girl, and that obviously her character is she's raised by wolves ever since she was a baby, and so she kind of thinks of herself like she is a wolf. Throughout the film, you see her just having issue with Irontown and Lady Eboshi, who is in charge of Irontown, and so she has that conflict with Lady Eboshi. Princess Mononoke really believes that humans are the reason why nature is dying, or the forests are basically going away. Throughout the film, she obviously has change of heart when she meets Ashitaka, and they kind of form that bond. And so I think it's interesting that her original character story was a little bit different, the origin, how they first started out designing her concept. She was supposed to be originally the third daughter of a kingdom that was supposed to marry a monster, and that's why her name is San, because it means three, literally three in Japanese. But they changed it so that she's the third child of Moro, which is the wolf goddess. So another interesting thing that I thought about the overall concept of Princess Mononoke, it was actually, Miyazaki was actually fascinated by this manga called Mudmen, written by Daijiro Morohashi, and it takes place in Papua New Guinea. So the characters there have that similar tribesman kind of look and aesthetic, and Miyazaki has talked about how that manga has had a huge influence on him. So if you look it up, you can definitely see the resemblance of the character Princess Mononoke to one of the characters in the manga. I imagine San, or Princess Mononoke, to be a little bit older in this mashup, and that she's kind of she's achieves this sort of royal status. I mean, she was already a princess, but just even more regal, to kind of match the same vibe as Arwen is also a princess in Middle Earth. And so I tried to incorporate a lot of Middle Earth elvish design, and so I kind of found this I found this design somewhere on Google of these white trees and stars, and the colors are kind of closely matching to Arwen's blue dress somewhere in the film. And then even the little flower emblem that resembles the necklace that Arwen and Aragorn shared together. I tried to incorporate a lot of those details in her dress as much as possible. So I think this mashup works really well with these two characters because Arwen and San are a little bit more closely related in terms of them being both princesses, but in a way they are warriors too, and that kind of makes Arwen sort of an underrated character in my opinion in the world of Middle Earth. And so I just have the background be closely related to the forest of Princess Mononoke because I honestly think it's a really beautiful background, and that's pretty much my mashup. I hope you like it. I really enjoyed it. I love decking out the dress and the headgear and all the little details.
Okay, so in my end of this art challenge, combining a character from Middle-earth and Studio Ghibli using Princess Mononoke and Arwen from Lord of the Rings. In my case, I try to make a very chivalrous or noble-like stance with the skeletal design of how I would want her to be posed. So it was not too hard for me to combine certain aspects of the character from Princess Mononoke and Arwen. I just simply added more elven features such as the pointed ears and wielding more elvish swords as opposed to a katana or anything from Eastern culture. Now what I did choose to leave in the mashup is more of the Princess Mononoke visuals because I wanted, it was a lot easier to have features from Studio Ghibli to stand out as opposed to a Middle-earth aesthetic. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to find the any Eastern features. So one obvious prop that stands out is the mask that the princess wears. But as for Arwen, I basically created original weapons for her. At first, I wanted to use like the Hadafang or Hadafang that Arwen used in the movie. And a little known fact, that weapon was actually invented for the movie adaptations as well as the backstory. So I thought it would be appropriate to put my own spin, and instead of using one sword, I decided to have this hybrid character dual wield to what I would say like a version of the Hadafang, and just kind of add like the more elvish elements in it to make it more obvious that it's Middle-earth weapons. But I decided to make her wield two swords because I just thought it would be cool. And yeah, so one other thing I added, that it would be nice to add some tattoos on this character as well. Maybe not too many, but just something to kind of add a little bit of my own personal touch to it, because I actually love adding tattoo body art designs on characters. So in this time, I decided to add one, and it's across her right leg, and I used Quenya Elvish from the Middle-earth lore, and inscribed on her leg is Warrior Princess. And I completely forgot the words for it, but I had to do some research. Okay, what is the elvish word for warrior and princess? And I just basically looked at the elvish alphabet and just kind of code each letter appropriately to make sure that it's correct. So that's what's written on her leg. And besides that, I gave her a cape and some fur and just kind of gave a simple background. And yeah, I wanted to use this like red, yellow, blue color motif on her design, and then just everything else just kind of leave it monotone so that the colors stand out. And as for the weapons, I gave it a bluish hue to symbolize this idea that whenever there are orcs around, elvish weapons tend to emit this glowing light. It's just a thing that Tolkien has in his books, like whenever there's orcs, you could tell with the when weapons glow. So that is my mashup. I hope you enjoyed that character hybrid combining Princess Mononoke and Arwen. Thanks for watching.